Hello class, and welcome to the second video in this series. This one is calculating the areas and the volume of a cylinder. So we have two areas for this one. The first one will be the lateral area, and then the surface area, and then the volume. Again, I've put the formulas up here on the screen already, so you can write those down if you didn't get them in class, or if you need them, or if you are absent. That's basically all of our notes today. We're just getting those formulas. All right, so for a cylinder, we're going to calculate the lateral area first. And again, if you remember from when we did the pyramids, the lateral area is the area of like this side part of our cylinder, not including the top and the bottom. All right, so that's what we're looking at of a cylinder when we talk about the lateral area. All right, so we're going to start off. I'm just going to rewrite my formula. So my lateral area formula, I'm going to start up here at the top, is 2 pi times radius times the height. So if we go over here to our pyramid, our radius is 7, so that's my R. And then my height is also 7, so that's my H. Those two are rarely going to be the same. This example will end up being the same, but they're not always going to be the same. But I labeled them so you can definitely see like which 7 comes from what part of the picture. Okay? All right, so we go back to our formula, and we're going to substitute those 7s, those two numbers, into our formula. So our lateral area is equal to 2 times pi times my radius, again, which is the red 7, times the height, which is the same color 7. Okay? If you can do some of that calculation in your head, that's great. If not, that's great as well. So we pull up our calculator, and here, again, you can type it in just like it is. I would put on this, since we have two numbers together, like our two 7s are right next to each other, it's a good idea to make sure those are separated somehow, either by using parentheses, or you can just use the multiplication symbol. But we can't just put like 7, 7, because then it's going to read it as 77. So those two numbers do have to be separated somehow. So I've got 2 times pi times 7 times 7. Now, if you know that 7 times 7 is 49, you can kind of simplify your numbers in your calculator and just put 2 times pi times 49. That's perfectly acceptable. That's fine. Then we hit enter and we multiply all that together, and we get 307.88 for our lateral area. So 307.88. And again, there's no units listed. Just remember, whatever your units are, it's always for area. It's always the units squared. So meters squared, centimeters squared, inches squared. You get the picture. Okay? So our next calculation is going to be for the surface area. So I'm going to start that right here. So our surface area formula, just to reiterate, is 2 times pi times radius times the height plus the radius. All right. So we plug our information in. So 2 times pi times the radius. Again, I'll color code it. So it's 2 pi times 7 times your height, which is 7, plus your radius, which is 7. Okay. Now for this one, what I like to do is go ahead and add these up before I go to my calculator. This kind of makes it a little bit easier to put in the calculator. So 2 pi 7 times, if we combine those two, we get 7 plus 7 is 14. Okay. Now we go to the calculator, and we're just going to multiply everything together. So 2 times pi times 7 times 14. Type it straight in, all in one step. Hit enter. So that would be 115.75. And again, it's an area, so it's units squared. Your surface area should always be greater than your lateral area. Your surface area involves the side plus the top and the bottom circles. Okay? So if you get your surface area less than your lateral area, go back and check your math, check your calculations. Something went awry. All right, so we'll kind of move this down a little bit, and so I have a little bit of room to do my volume. So let's use red for the volume. So our volume formula for a cylinder is pi r squared times the height. So when we substitute our two numbers in, we get pi, the radius, 7 squared times the height, which again is 7 in this case. So again, I want to reiterate, those two values are not always going to be the same. Most of the time they're not the same. But this is a good example to kind of be able to distinguish between those two values. Okay? So now we go to our calculator, and I'm just going to type it in basically just like it is there. So we'll start with pi times 7 squared times 7. And we get 1077.57. 1077.57 units. What do we put on our units for volume? It's always cubed. The volume is always cubed units. And that's it for a cylinder. Feel free to comment. Any questions? If you have questions, you can put comments at the bottom of the video. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. You can get notified when I post new videos. If you like these examples, if you enjoy watching them, or if they are helping you, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notifications of when I put up new examples. Thanks, guys. Good calculating.